Welcome to Unbroken with Yay. Pull up a seat and get ready for some real talk, raw healing, and a reminder that no matter what you've been through, you are still standing. You've got this. Hello and welcome to Unbroken with Yay. Today's episode is for all the parents that are in the trenches with me going through the neuro-spicy minefield, where you essentially feel like you're being gaslit because you're going to doctors and pediatricians, and then you've also got friends and family and the school. Everyone is chiming in on what you should do to help your kid. And it is so overwhelming. The noise is so loud and it is incredibly judgmental. You know, so you are getting it from all sides. You should medicate. You shouldn't medicate. You should be doing therapies. You shouldn't be doing therapies. And then there's the people that are telling you there's nothing wrong with your kid. You shouldn't listen to that. I don't believe in those types of diagnosis. Okay, if you are the parent, and you tell me, parents and guardians and carers, if you can relate to being absolutely overwhelmed by the noise that society has to offer on how to manage your neurodivergent kid. Because for me, that noise is loud and it is incredibly overwhelming. And it feels like you're in the trenches and you're being judged no matter which way you turn. This episode is for you. So this episode, we are definitely shutting the door to judgment. There is absolutely no judgment from me in this safe space about how you go through the process of helping your neurodivergent kid, because that's essentially what it is. We are there as the parent to try and help them. Everything I'm doing is coming from a place of love. So when I'm getting recommendations from teachers that we've got some behavioral issues, I'm taking that on board because I'm trying to be a good mum, the same as I'm taking on board the information from a doctor and from a pediatrician. And everything that I'm doing is because I'm trying my best for my child. And I'm sure that you can relate. So I am going to have a bit of a gripe about the Aussie system and how it works for us, and that it does make my mind boggle. So I understand why we have NDIS, and that's great that we have funding. What the difficulty, and you can tell me if you've been in this boat, I've got multiple children with different types of neurodivergence. So when it comes to that, I have a child that's been diagnosed with ADHD, I'm on my own. So if I want to pay for therapies for that kid, that comes out of my pocket. If I want to pay for the medications that have been recommended, comes out of my pocket. If I want to pay for the pediatrician appointments and the doctor's appointment, my pocket. And then on the other side, I've got a child that's autistic and they have tens of thousands of dollars available to them via NDIS to get all of the play-based learning and the speechies and the OTs and all of that. And it is so difficult and it's unfair. It's unfair for the parents that are trying to assist their kid and actually get in there and get their hands dirty and, you know, lean on all these different resources that are available, but not if your kid isn't fully diagnosed and able to reach that NDIS threshold. It is so hard and it's infuriating because you're going through the process and you don't know. So if you've never done that before, obviously I've got multiple kids, so I know the process. I know I'm on wait lists for years. I know that it's all going to cost me a lot of money. But particularly for those parents that this is the first time, or you only have one child, it is a battlefield. So we are in this together. Your child is not broken. They are unique in the best way possible. So I'm going to go through why they actually have a superpower, and they are neuro-spicy. They're not just neurodivergent, but it really is. It's a minefield in regards to getting those funds to be able to help our kids, and it's just not fair. It definitely is a broken system, and you're not a broken parent. We're in this together. So when you have those moments where I call it the tyrant voice, which is when I'm about to lose my mind and scream at these kids, sometimes it's valid. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's valid.
But sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not valid because the little person I'm talking to, their brain is just not wired the same way as everybody else. So when I'm standing there having an argument about putting on socks for 45 minutes, me going into tyrant mode and screaming at this kid that has some sort of sensory issue of what goes on his little feet, that is completely redundant and it's of no use. And there's no point in me doing that. And that's where I get a lot of judgment. Oftentimes not actually from other parents, it's from people who don't even have kids. And they go, you're too soft. I'm too soft. Come in my house. Come live my life with my kids for a day. I bloody dare ya. Because it's not even that I'm being too soft. It's that I've got a kid that just doesn't operate the same way as everybody else. He has wonderful skills where he exceeds in some ways, and then there's others that just aren't there. And if I didn't understand that he has a neurodivergence and a sensory issue, I would still be battling that fight about putting the socks on every morning. But now I'm at the stage where I can understand that. I can understand him, and there is give and take there. So I can sit there and go, okay, well, we wear these shoes, and then as soon as we get home, we go straight to the shower, we have a little foot bath, and he can do those things because he can sensory deal with that. He cannot, for the life of him, deal with the sense of socks on his feet, and that's just how he is. And so when we're sending them off to places like school, you've got to think about it like a battery. So they wake up in the morning and their battery's at 100%. But you're getting these neuro-spicy kids to do everything that, not everything, but a lot of things that are just not in their wheelhouse. And so it takes up so much of their battery, their internal energy to comply with a uniform that maybe to them feels like sandpaper. To sit down, which maybe to them feels like they're being a caged animal. So we're asking them to do all these things for hours and hours and hours in a day. By the time they come home, man, his little battery is at 10%. So of course he's going to kick off. Of course he's going to be angry. Of course he's going to be frustrated because he's absolutely been, in his mind, stifled. He has been a lion in a cage all day long, and he has tried his hardest to comply. But that's just not him. So the second they come home, maybe they take all their clothes off. Maybe they veg out. Maybe they're running up and down, up and down, up and down. They've got to use that energy because they haven't been able to use it before. And as the parent, it's understanding, cool, you're neuro-spicy. You just do it a little bit different. And having that compassion, that doesn't make me the soft mum. I mean, I am a bit soft. I love my kids. But it doesn't make me a bad parent that I let them come home and let their neuro-spicy out. That's a mum that loves them. So I let them come home and do all those things that they need to do to regulate their nervous system because I'm their safe space. So it's about understanding that their brain is just hardwired differently to other people and taking off that judgment. Cool, you can judge me that I don't yell at my kids about whether they put their shoes at the front door immediately when they walk in here. Cool, whatever. I don't care. I don't care about your judgment. What I care about is what's good for my kid. I need to help them in a way that is going to best evolve them for themselves and for the society and the community in which we live. Now tell me if this one hits home. There is a particular type of neuro-spicy and it lives in our house and it is obsessive. If you have that neuro-spicy kid that is obsessive about things and there is no distracting, there is no not doing that. You cannot get them to focus away. They are completely obsessive, and I don't mean for an hour, I mean daily. So I have a child that is completely obsessive about a particular thing. So when they're not doing it, They are researching it, they're writing about it, they're drawing pictures about it, they're talking about it. If you have a kid that is obsessive like that, and that is part of their neurodivergence, guess what? They are going to be the most impressive adults, because guess what? That's their superpower. It's the one thing that it might drive everybody else crazy, and maybe it annoys their teachers, and maybe it annoys their siblings, and maybe it annoys, other members of the family. Those kids that are obsessive and they're actually goal driven, right? It's really impressive. They have the ability to focus in on something. They're going to be the best employee. They're going to be an impressive CEO. They're going to be a self-made entrepreneur, because they have the ability and the creativeness and the drive and dedication to hone in on one thing. It is an amazing superpower. So when I'm looking at my kid, that sometimes you start to get annoyed, because you're like, this kid is obsessed. They're just obsessing on that. And we've got other things that we need to do. And there's other people in this house. And, you need to start thinking about other people and chores. And, we need to go to a birthday party. And they're just obsessing in on whatever it is. It's drawing, it's footy, it's making things, it's blocks, whatever. All I can think, and I feel it in my gut, my intuition. I just know. I look at this kid and go, I get it. Other people, this might drive them crazy, but I know that this is their superpower. I know this is going to make them into such an impressive adult when they use this skill in the way it's intended. And unfortunately, at the moment, they have to go to school and they have to comply and they have to sit there and do all these what feel like mundane tasks to this child. But that internal thing, that thing that they obsess about, it's beautiful. It's a passion point. It is a gift. They are so special and they're so lucky to have that. I remember being in high school and there were so many of us that were like, I don't know what I like. I don't even know what I'm good at. And we didn't have that ability, that introspection of who am I and where am I going and what do I like doing. These kids that have that obsession palette, so to speak, oh my God, they're amazing. And encourage them. I know it's hard, obviously. You can't let them do it all the time, but encourage them and know this little person is growing into what will be the most capable adult. So be grateful for that. See it for what it is. You are doing a great job as a parent when you have got a kid that's obsessive. I'm telling you, it's wonderful. Our kids' brains just work faster than everybody else's. And it's a gift, but when they're little, it feels like a burden. It feels like a burden for them because maybe they can't sit still, or maybe they find class boring, or maybe that, they have issues with those interpersonal relationship skills. But as they progress, it is their superpower. It is what is so unique and wonderful about them. And us as the parents, we get to embrace it. It's difficult for us because we're the ones managing it, and we live in a society where they need to conform and they need to go to school and they have to do sport and whatever else it is that they have to do while they're there. But we also get the gift of seeing how wonderful and amazing they are. So this one's for us. This episode is for us. It's very, very challenging as the parent to navigate that. It is a really difficult task, and I am saying absolutely no to any judgment in any form. However you navigate that the best for your kid, when your intentions are good and you love the socks off them, even if my kid ain't wearing socks, then good for you. We've got this. We've got to get through this, and our community need to embrace each other instead of point fingers and put people down when we're trying to help our kids. And for the parents that are like me and get judged a lot for being too lenient, if you haven't heard it today, you're doing a great job and you're doing everything out of love and you're trying your hardest, so keep up the good work. It's not that easy to do it with neurodivergent kids. People think you're being soft. You're not. You're actually being really compassionate and you're thinking from your child's point of view, and you know your child better than anyone else. So we really have to let go of that internal battle, because I get a lot of guilt about it. The guilt of, should I be going to more doctors? Should I be medicating? Should I not be medicating because I don't want to turn this kid into a zombie? And the guilt from when other parents judge me. There's nothing wrong with your kid. Okay, cool, but you don't live with them. You don't have to deal with a 4-hour tantrum on a daily basis. So you haven't walked in my shoes. Please have a little compassion for me. So I'm saying no to the judgment. Do not judge parents that have neurodivergent kids. We are all struggling in the sense that we are trying to find the roadmap for what's best for our kids. But guess what? They're all so different, and neurodivergent comes out in different ways, that there isn't a simple and fail-proof roadmap. So you've got to have a little compassion for us. We are trying. So if you're getting your judgment on, man can it. Do not judge me unless you're willing to help me. I am Yay. This is Unbroken with Yay. As always, I have a worksheet on the website. If you want to work through any of this stuff as a neurodivergent parent, I have a downloadable, and you can fill out the worksheet, which is a really good resource. And please like, follow, and comment. If you have ideas in regards to topics and themes you would like me to cover, please reach out. And also, what are your thoughts and feelings on being a neurodivergent parent, or even a neurodivergent adult? What would you have liked? What would have worked for you? Please share. That's the only way we are going to change the way we do things, is if we have open communication. And then also, please DM me if you ever want to do any one-on-one coaching about getting through the tough times, and you need a bit of sister energy and some tools and resources and how to help you through what could be a tough time. And I'm also open for speaking engagements. So until next time, do not forget, you are unbroken, and so is your child. You're doing a good job. Keep up the good work.